We have some breaking news coming in. Chinese President Xi Jinping has arrived in Wuhan, the venue for informal summit with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on April 27th and 28th. PM Modi will be leaving for Wuhan in China today evening. Meanwhile, after China now, India too has said that there will be no outcome documents after the Xi-Modi meeting at Wuhan. The Indian ambassador to China, Gautam Bambawale, has said that no MOU or agreement would be signed at the informal meeting between the two leaders. There would be no agenda for the talks. The two leaders are expected to have a walk in a park or take a boat ride in Wuhan. The idea is to give them an atmosphere in which they can talk freely, frankly and candidly. He said this is a strategic communication at an overarching level and the objective is to understand each other better. And to give us more details on this news story, I am joined in by our news editor, Surya Gangadharan. Mr. Gangadharan, what is finally supposed to emerge out of the India-China informal summit, since we were just informed that no MOUs or agreements will be signed?
Well, I think that's the whole purpose behind having an informal summit. And it's being held not in Beijing, but in a place like Wuhan, where there is nothing official at all about Wuhan, It's not a place where any government structures are there or the foreign ministry is there. It's basically a transportation hub in China. And that is the setting for this informal summit, where the two leaders can just sit and talk about all the issues between them. And more important, about the direction in which they want to take their countries forward, maybe over the next decade or so. And it's an ideal kind of a setting to understand the other's mind, what they think of each other's countries, what they want to do with their own country, what is their whole idea of economic development, what direction it could take. So there's so many issues that they can discuss without aides present, without diplomats present. It's something to be worked out between these two leaders.
Right. Also, Mr. Gangadharan, what could we expect from Modi's itinerary during this summit?
Well, I understand he'll be taken on a tour of parts of the city. There are visits to various places planned. There'll probably be meetings with some of the local gentry. We don't know as yet. These are being kept under wraps for now, although I understand sections of the Chinese media have been selectively briefed by the officials in Wuhan. So we'll have to see where it goes. It's an opportunity to see how Wuhan is transforming. As I mentioned, this is a transportation hub for China. It's a place where there's a lot of development happening, and it's an opportunity for Modi to see how the Chinese go about the whole business of development.
So also, this is Modi's fourth visit to China, but it could be a first in many ways, since this informal summit tends to break away from the stiff protocol, which is usually the norm during such meets.
In fact, given the bad blood between India and China over the last year or two, perhaps an informal summit is the way to go forward, You speak frankly to each other, nothing is on record, you don't have to come out with any declaration or statement. It's ideal for both leaders in that sense.
Right. Also, sir, we know that the Chinese are making their presence felt around India and in India's neighborhood. Don't you think that China is performing from a position of strength, whereas India is still not at so much of an advantage?
Akanksha, China is perhaps only number 2 to America in terms of economic strength. And its economy is 5 times that of India. Its military is more than double that of India. So whichever way you look at it, they are much, much bigger than us. And that's a fact that we all know and acknowledge, which is why we are concerned. And therefore this meeting, where you can sit with the leader of this most powerful country. He's got near no term limits on his presidency. So he can talk freely, perhaps even tell us what he expects from us, and we can tell him what we expect from him. And nothing is on record, so it's great for both leaders.
Right, absolutely agree with you. This will be quite an informal summit to watch out for. Thank you so much, Mr. Surya Gangadharan, joining us live from the newsroom. Now, moving over, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will today leave for the Chinese city of Wuhan for a 2-day informal summit with President Xi Jinping. Wuhan is located in China's landlocked Hubei province. The announcement of the summit was made by the Indian and Chinese foreign ministers last Sunday. The two leaders will seek to reset bilateral ties post the Doklam crisis in August last year. China and India were locked in a 73-long military standoff in Doklam sector near Sikkim. the two nations disengaged the troops from the disputed site and agreed to defuse the tension from the plateau.